From the beginning, Colorado was home to 9 distinct bands of the Nuche, also known as the Southern Ute Indian Tribe, Ute Mountain Ute Tribe, and the Ute Indian Tribe of the Uinta-Ore Reservation. Today, Colorado College occupies the ancestral homelands and traditional territory of the Nuche. Other nations with historical, cultural, and spiritual ties to this land include the Hasindayan or Hercurea Apache, Hinana Ena or Arapaho, Tsisiska or Cheyenne, Nimina or Comanche, Koigu or Kiowa, and Pawnee or Pawnee. We affirm that early United States national policy was designed to break down indigenous communities, destroy cultural identities, and outlaw traditional spiritual practices to clear a path for non-indigenous settlement. This was accomplished through genocide, assimilation through boarding schools, colonial oppression, forced relocation, broken treaties, and land theft. Despite that, indigenous peoples are still here today, resilient, thriving, and vibrant citizens or descendants of 574 US federally recognized sovereign nations, plus those from the north and south of the US borders and beyond. The Nuche still call this region home, as do many diverse Native peoples. As friends, scholars, educators, colleagues, and community members, Indigenous people continue to embrace our languages, spirituality, and traditions. We acknowledge that the land continues to hold the values and prayers of our ancestors. We encourage all people to learn the names and the complex histories of original people of the land you're on, and continuously seek ways to act in solidarity with them. Mitakoye oyase.
We welcome in this new year, open to endless possibilities, empowered to take risks as we courageously wrestle with ideas and the world in ways that honor the dignity of each other and encourage curiosity, daring to seek understanding and embody compassion as we help create the world we long for, taking time along the way for moments of rest and play. In this new year, may all that supports and sustains us be present, and may our values and what we hold as sacred guide us. May it be so, and you're welcome to be seated. Thank you. Good morning, staff, faculty, and students. My name is Sophia Murphy, and I am honored to serve as the student body president for the 2026-2027 academic year. It's gonna take a lot longer if we keep cheering. But happy first day of school, everybody. Isn't it funny how instead of dreadful, our first day of school here feels like the day so many of us have been waiting for since May? Why should we be excited about today? What is it about this place that makes the first day of school feel like it's kind of unpausing the fun instead of when homework, our quizzes, and 3-hour lectures start? Yet, when I think about how lucky we are to have this place to return to, I can't help but think about how vastly different our opportunities are from those existing on the same planet as us, in the same country, in the same state, in Colorado Springs. This past year, we witnessed the dehumanization of individuals domestic and abroad, unlawful deportation, targeted detention, violence against people based on how they looked, and this is the reality of our splintered world. These issues seem so large, so ingrained in the world today that I know when I think about them, I often feel hopeless. It feels reasonable to assert that care and genuine empathy are harder to find in this world we live in today, in our country. So what is the solution? Through various classes I've taken at CC, while we've critiqued the exclusivity of community, we've also studied the power in collective voices and bonded individuals. It feels like the idea of community is a radical concept. Our systems are often designed to break up communities, to highlight our differences, and ultimately force us into picking sides. Why? Because community goes against what is valued in this country, as we're putting others before ourselves, when we're investing in something that's not giving us capital gain, and we spend time on deepening relationships for joy rather than for networking. In our country, where the top 1% owns more than 16 times the wealth of the bottom 50%, where we were built off of colonizing and dehumanizing innocent people, it seems that it is almost legacy that someone is winning at the cost of others. Community forces us to think differently. So where do we come in? Yes, Colorado College is extremely privileged in this world. We are a higher education institution with many students coming from privileged backgrounds. I acknowledge that CC may be lacking in many ways, but what I do think is that we can learn a lot from the way we treat each other here, lessons that we can take much further out of this insular community and to transform greater society. We have learned here the power of care, of truly recognizing, embracing, and empowering everyone here. I've been lucky enough to see this community of care represented in many different spheres in my time at CC. This past month during Pretty Training, we spent 3 days before the first years arrived just learning how to kind of be empathetic and learning how to listen. Why? We cared not because it was our job, but because that is what we do at CC. Sometimes I think we just got lucky that we feel like we belong here, that we have this space that is exciting to return to. But we must realize that this community has taken intentional effort, a type of effort that may be harder to find outside of CC. A type of effort that I have been lucky enough to witness in my years spent on CCSGA, constantly seeing our campus leaders curating a space for community to be formed as they know caring and belonging are at the core of success. From administrative staff to student leaders, these amazing individuals at CC advocate for students and enrich our CC experience. It gives me hope here to see hardworking staff members like Chris Starr and Andy Obringer working at the fitness center on Saturdays to get masses of students to play campus golf, sand volleyball, or building cardboard boats, most that will sink, but not mine. Our outdoor ed team constantly creating new programs to empower all students and to get outside and create shared experience regardless of financial barriers. The Llama-Palooza Music Festival Committee, who focus on every intricate detail and intention behind each food cart or artist that we bring to our campus. My debate coach, who leaves her wonderful family to make sure we travel from California to the middle of Maine in the middle of the winter so we as students have a chance to do what we love. Or Edwin Hamada, Associate VP of Student Life, who I've known since I started at CC and helped me edit this very speech not because it was his job, but because, like many other CC staff, he truly cares about the students here. This school is not perfect. We still have so much to figure out, but we are so lucky to be in this place where it really feels like everyone is trying to build the most supportive environment possible.
Colorado College is exciting to return to, not only because of our small campus that physically can bring us together, but the intentionality from others that I don't have enough time to mention, but who constantly put effort into supporting each and every individual here. As I mentioned earlier, I think that's an extremely rare opportunity in this world, but we are fortunate enough to have it at CC. As emerging leaders, one of the most important lessons we should take from this place isn't to be learned in a classroom, but what it has felt like to belong, and the importance of creating spaces where others can feel the same way. Students here are successful. It feels like every student I talk to is doing something kind of brilliant, sometimes that I can't even comprehend, like physics students, but it feels like everyone is able to reach kind of points of self-discovery and pursuing what they truly love with a community that will always have their back. I see my friends like Hyung-Yu Kim starting an entire clothing brand charity, changing lives, then seeing him constantly hanging with his friends. Or Veronica Bianco, a Division I athlete and editor-in-chief of the Outdoor Journal, but always ready to play guitar with teammates, friends, and strangers. Or Liam Pentangelo, who can name every bird that you point out, and who has been a stabilizing class representative with me all 3 years at CC and is now the vice president of student life. Someone who is constantly checking in on everyone around him and making people laugh. None of this feels purely coincidental. I believe that students here succeed. They're so special because in their pursuit of greatness, they are reminded that they are human. They are grounded with their people, allowing them a stable jumping pad, a friend that will always listen, to bounce ideas off of, to cry to re-energize them. Thinking about graduating, I can't picture not having this community to fall back on. I have found that the best things here have happened when the original feeling was anxiety and I needed to be pushed. Luckily, I have found here that I am often not alone. This year, I want to not only be grateful for how this place makes me feel, but dig deeper and understand that it is due to the hard work of everyone in this chapel today, and to everyone who couldn't attend because they were playing their part elsewhere. We must not only work to practice gratitude for our community more often, but understand that it is not easy, and we have to continue showing up for each other. For this is what I've experienced is the CC way. It will take effort, but everything that you put into this place will be right there waiting for you when you need it. To have this place, this community, we all have to be continuously showing up for one another, even when it is inconvenient. Because of this quote I once heard, that in order to have a village, to have this support, the stability for your success, you must be a villager. You must show up. Care and empathy are not things we see highlighted in the headlines every day, but at Colorado College, those acts are frequent. Through effortful community and gratitude, we can build better spaces for those to feel supported, and thus empowered to create change, solve those issues that may feel so insurmountable. Hopefully, we have realized here how integral community is to our success. Hopefully, we realize that we can be rich in love and empower together. Thank you. Now I'm going to plug CCSGA. Relevantly, just a few weeks ago, CCSGA got the budget approved as the final step in the Warner basement renovations to create a student-centered space for collaboration and community gathering. Yay! Besides making the couches face each other, we're also brainstorming other ways to make this space really bring students together. Last academic year, our Civic Outreach Committee expanded our Gold Card Plus options, and these efforts are providing students the opportunity to immerse themselves more in the city and for small businesses in the Colorado Springs community to feel supported. Yeah, it's awesome. And this year, CCSGA has goals to be constantly giving back to students in very tangible ways. We've already funded a new project of putting period products in the dispensers that are on campus, which is really exciting. We're trying to increase transparency in what we do, show you where our money goes, and increase the advocacy we can provide for students. I am so incredibly honored that I have been chosen to lead this organization that I have been so deeply invested in since my start at CC. Being trusted in this position is not something that I'm taking lightly. I have a great burden to fulfill. I will be hosting presidential office hours so that there is always an opportunity to tell us to do better, to tell us what you want, how we can support you, or what you need. If you are interested in becoming involved in our efforts this year, we're hiring 2 CCSGA operation assistants and a parliamentarian. And if you are a first year, your elections are coming up in an email, so look out for those if you're interested. You can voice your opinion, and you get paid, and sometimes we get free food. So you should definitely apply. I will now introduce another leader on our campus that is constantly trying to bring us together through being an avid and an intentional member of our community, like eating at Rastal's, hosting the Tiger Look-alike contest, and just always being down to chat with students. It is my pleasure to welcome President Manya Whitaker.
Hello. I only feel a little type of way that my cheer wasn't as big as Sophia's, but that's okay. That's all right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another academic year. The first day of school has always brought me so much joy as a student, as a professor, and especially now as president. I know a big part of that is that I love back to school shopping, but really there's also something about this time of year that feels so empowering. Whether you're a member of the class of 2030 about to start your first ever block, or a staff or faculty member who's been here for over a decade like me, we all have a chance to start fresh and to set our intentions for the year ahead. Today, I want to talk about what it means to find belonging and community, and how we can collectively keep the joy that comes from belonging alive. We all know that teaching and learning at CC is challenging. It's what attracted many of you to this place. And as exciting as the first day of Block 1 can feel, it's natural to be a little more tired, a little more set in your ways by the time Block 6 rolls around. Because while the block plan creates a shared rhythm on campus, sometimes we're so deep in our own work, it can be hard to notice anyone else. Given everything going on in the world, this year carries its own particular weight. Many of us will need to block out the noise of endless war, economic uncertainty, and attacks on human rights. Students, you will have blocks that feel like they will never end, and the stretch between winter and spring break can feel like a full academic year on its own. Colleagues, many of us will need to adjust how we do our work this year as expectations and resources align with new realities. That kind of change asks a lot, and it is not lost on me. We will all feel the pressure of tight deadlines and competing priorities. We will all have moments when we're failing as a friend and even as a family member. The middle of the grind is exactly when it's hardest to lift our heads and reach out to someone. And that's precisely when doing so matters most. Connection need not be experienced separately from our daily hustle. And the joy that brought us to this place is not in tension with the discipline required to be successful. In fact, if you're only feeling joy on block break or when you take vacations, you will struggle to get through the year without burning out. One of the best life skills you can master is figuring out how to experience joy in a community in a way that is durable. That takes intention and practice. So I want to share some concrete examples with you all. Some are more complicated and others take as little as 5 minutes, but they can all help you stay connected to why you chose Colorado College. Start with yourself. Recognize and celebrate what you're good at. The block moves so fast, life moves so fast, that we rarely pause and reflect on our accomplishments. It's okay to be proud of yourself and to share that pride with others. Offer feedback on a friend's paper. Help with the problem set. Coach them on their public speaking. We all have talents and we all have something to learn, especially as liberal arts scholars. Push yourself to discover joy in new places. Start building your network from day one by connecting through the Colorado College Mentoring Program or the Employee Building Bridges Program. Experience art and creativity on purpose. Enjoy free entry to the FAC Museum, see a theater production, and take a discounted class at Bemis School of Art. Join campus traditions like Warner After Dark, The Fashion Show, Goth Prom, Battle of the Bands, and Tiger Talent. Embrace the joy already surrounding you. Cheer on fellow Tigers at athletic events. Celebrate your friends' and colleagues' achievements at the Summer Research and Internship Symposium, the Keller Family Venture Grants Forum, faculty lunches, or the Authors and Creators Reception. These are open to the entire campus. Join Community Coffees, a new Blockly gathering on the second Wednesday of the block from 3 to 4 in Warner. There's no expectation to stay for a long time. Just grab some caffeine and conversation. Don't be afraid to create joyful moments. Participate in Tiger Tuesdays, wear your black and gold, whether you're in your office, classroom, or residence hall. Stop by Rassel for Tiger-themed treats and music, and you'll see me there, so say hi. Sometimes all it takes is a cheerful wave or a thoughtful text to turn someone's day around. Sustain the joy. Reach out to at least one classmate, colleague, or friend each block who you don't see every day. Make plans to grab dinner, take a study break, or to just chat on the phone. Be grateful that joy exists. Send a thank you note to someone who taught you something new or who made your life easier yesterday. No matter how packed your schedule might be, I guarantee you can always find time for that last one. To be grateful for joy, for smiles, for laughter, for silly moments, yummy food, a good book, and a gorgeous sunset. Be grateful enough to share that with someone else. Joy is something we often think of as personal, that we experience individually. But there's nothing on the list I just shared that is necessarily a solo endeavor. If you reflect on the best memories in your life, times when you felt especially fulfilled, I'm willing to bet they involve people you love or respect, people you may have known forever, or some you just met. It's the people. People create joy and belonging. We don't come to know our own feelings alone. Psychologists who study emotion describe recognition as relational. We learn what joy is because someone else names it, mirrors it back to us, stands alongside us so that they can feel it too. Philosophers have argued something similar for centuries. Hegel wrote that self-consciousness exists only through being recognized by another consciousness. Martin Buber called the deepest kind of meaning an I-thou relation, a bond in which we fully become ourselves only in relation to someone else who is fully present with us. Literature is rife with similar narrative arguments. Toni Morrison's novels return again and again to characters who cannot become whole until someone else truly sees them, like Setha and Paul D. in Beloved. Ralph Ellison built an entire novel around the opposite condition. An invisible man, the narrator moves through the world unseen by everyone around him because his crisis is not that he lacks selfhood, but that no one will recognize it. Solitude can bring something like contentment, a quiet ease that asks nothing of anyone. But joy, the kind that catches in your chest and makes us all want to tell someone, that joy needs a witness, and it needs a contrast. We know joy because we have known despair, and the two live close enough together that neither would mean much without the other. We are not much without one another. So lean into what makes CC so amazing. New students, it's never been less weird to strike up a conversation with a stranger in the hallway. You're all beginning this journey together. No one knows what's going on, and everyone's eager to find their people. Sometimes you have to be the first to reach out, to be unafraid, introduce yourself, exchange numbers, invite someone to lunch. Your first year, your 4 years will be better for it. Returning students, you are now the people who set the tone for those who just arrived. You are the ones who can invite someone to a campus event, introduce them to other people, share what you've learned, and to help someone discover a place where they feel at home. You are the keepers of our traditions and the creators of what comes next. Faculty and staff, the experiences of our students are shaped by every interaction they have on campus. You notice the student who goes quiet in class or who always sits alone in Rastel. You extend office hours for a non-class related conversation and show up to an 8 p.m. performance after having already worked 9 hours. Some of you teach within a discipline. All of you teach what it means to be cared for. You are the keepers of what makes Colorado College distinct, and the ones who make sure that distinction holds, especially in hard years. Uncertain of what awaits in the next 9 months, let us be certain of this. Community takes commitment. It takes looking up from our laptops and noticing the people around us. Joy and belonging grow when we share them, when we recognize one another, celebrate one another, and make room for connection in the middle of busy lives. They are not a break from the real work of the college. They're confirmation that real work is happening. And that work does not magically occur. Happiness does not knock on your door, and morale is not bestowed upon you. It is something we are all responsible for building. So that is my charge for all of us as we set out on this first day of school. Let us remember that no one is simply passing through this place. We are creating a shared experience. So let's do so with purpose and with joy. Have an amazing year.
So I know communal singing might be something that many of us do not do often or are not familiar with. It might even stretch us. And on this first day, we invite you to join in the college alma mater. This is actually the second one that was created in the early 50s, and to join with all the voices of the CC students who have passed through and dwelled in this place. So I invite you to rise as you are able and to join in the singing of the alma mater. That was great, Tigers. So as we leave this place, may we flow with the currents of our lives, having the wisdom to navigate whatever is before us with courage and grace. May we choose to be genuinely present with each other, engaged in our learning, committed to community, navigating the joy and challenges together as we embrace the liberatory practices of the liberal arts. And may all that sustains us be with us in this new academic year. May it be so, Tigers. Happy first day.